we shall all celebrate this achievement if we do it next year. And we can only do this if we address the trust deficit. So my good friends and colleagues, let's look forward to that day when we are able to do this. I would want to ask if we have that capacity. Do we? Are we sure? Yes. Sure? Yes. God giving us life. We want to see this next year. With those very many remarks, it's now my distinct duty to welcome the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Machoku. Karibu Waziri.
He is a seasoned career civil servant and administrator. He once served as Senior Deputy Secretary in the Ministries of Arid and Semi-Arid Lands, Trade and Tourism, the Public Service Commission, and Member of Parliament for Nyaribari Masaba constituency. Please welcome the Ministry of Education Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Ezekiel Machogu.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Principal Secretary, State Department of Basic, my friend, the Chairman of Kepsha, Mr. Sioka, the members of Parliament here present, Mheshimiwa Professor Barito, my friend Nabwera Nabi, Member of Parliament for Ugari, the Chairman, Teacher Service Commission, the representative of Kenya Commercial Bank, and all the officials of Kepsha, all the head teachers of our schools. Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Amjambo muko. Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman. I'm happy that you extended the invitation for me to be here this afternoon. And before I deliver my speech, my seniors in Parliament are here, and it is courteous that I request them to come up front and say a word. Mheshimiwa Barito and Mheshimiwa Nabwera, kindly come. You know, these are the people who make sure that we get the necessary required funds in our education committee, and not only that, even the amendments that we make from education cannot go through courtesy of our two friends. So si wawasalamia jameni.
Thank you. Our guest of honor, the CS for education, the PS and all protocols observed, my employers, hamjambo. Now, I just have two things to say. One is to thank all of you that we have been very resilient in difficult times in implementing JSS. Thank you so much. The second thing I would like to say to this congregation, CS, is that I'm looking forward next year to slightly a different way of programming our discussion. What do I have in mind? When you are facing the challenges we are facing, we don't need to do this. We need to do more of plenary. We should be having a discussion, looking for solution from all of us than giving speeches. That is my recommendation. Finally, good people. Good people. And CS, if there was somebody in the Ministry of Education whom you should look at as Shuja, should be these people who never steal exams. We went through exams without drama. Credibility is what holds a nation. Values are driven from you people. And we are requesting our brothers in the senior school that please, we are building values at primary, at JSS. Continue building values at that level. We will have a nation. I can assure you, we will have a nation. PS and CS, you are here. There's a very good reason members of the Education Committee joined CS and PS to insist that we only need 2 schools, a comprehensive school and a senior school. You know, for years, this animal called categorization denied us equity. This comprehensive school must bring equity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Our chief guest, the Cabinet Secretary, PS, Chair, Teacher Service Commission, all senior members of government present here today, our teachers, our employers, good afternoon. Good afternoon again. I can see when my brother spoke, you got very excited kwa sababu ameguza maneno ya kweli, si ndio? Mimi ninaitwa Professor Phyllis Chepkemoi Barto. Mimi ni mjumbe kutoka kule Moiben, lakini hapo awali nilianzia kama mwalimu. Na nataka kuhakikishia ya kwamba pale bunge sisi members 3/4 of the Education Committee we are former teachers. Na nataka kuhakikishia tunaangalia maslahi yenu sawa sawa. Hata sasa tukiwa hapa, chairman wetu wa committee Mheshimiwa Meli hakuweza kuungana na sisi kwa sababu alikuwa anaangalia maneno ya budget. Sasa mimi nataka kuhakikishia tuko sambamba, tutangangana. We know you serve through very difficult circumstances. And in fact, when we were coming in, we were chatting with my colleague, na tulikuwa tunawaelezea, when you look at these teachers who are here, they are the people who bring equalization to the table, because education is the only equalizer. So my dear brothers and sisters, let's join hands. We will work hard to see that the education sector, to see that our teachers get the best.
Rethinking education management within a comprehensive school framework, inspiring innovation for a sustainable impact in the present and the future decades. This theme is befitting because it revolves around one of the key reform education areas for our implementation, which is the introduction of the comprehensive school system. I'm sure you are aware of that. This forum, therefore, is an excellent opportunity to dialogue and share perspectives on how we can best effect these and other recommended reforms. Over the last few years, we have been progressively rolling out the competence-based curriculum with the junior school starting this year. The progressive rollout of KBC started in your institutions. I must thank and commend you all for the remarkable work that you have done to make the rollout a continuing success. As we seek to inspire innovation for sustainable impact in the education sector, let us remember that the CPC has been designed as a model that prepares children to be competent and achieve mastery of what they learn through innovation and creativity while encouraging inclusion and diversity. There is no doubt that the competence-based education opens up schools and learners to expanded learning opportunities and deepen sustainability. I want to emphasize here that CPC focuses on the learner. The teacher, as a facilitator of learning under CPC, is continuously trying to prepare adequately so as to meet the needs of each individual runner. I urge all of us to acknowledge that we must innovate so that our teaching approaches respond to these changing times in the education landscape. This is particularly the case with foundational running, which is the level of education squarely within your mandate. Foundational running provides the building blocks for all other subsequent learning, knowledge and skills that the children and the young people attain through education. Without proper foundational learning, our children will not reach their full potential in the society. As a government, we are keen to ensure that all children access foundational learning as part of basic education. As you all know, Article 53 of our Constitution is categorical that basic education is free and compulsory. I have to point out, however, that we have not been on compulsory education for formalistic purposes. The free and compulsory education must also be quality education if it is to have any meaning and relevance. There is therefore need to appreciate for appropriate teaching methodologies and the support and supervision of the various curriculum implementers to guarantee quality. Achieving quality education is a collaborative effort that requires all of us to work jointly. The government will play its role in providing an enabling legal and policy environment. Indeed, the reforms that we are currently implementing are aimed at creating such an environment. The government will also continue to support schools and runners through capitation. This is part of the obligation of the state in fulfilling the right to free and compulsory basic education. As you are aware, since 2003, the government has been implementing the free primary education program. Currently, we fund each runner at Kenya shillings 1,420. For the junior school, the government provides capitation at the rate of Kenya shillings 15,042 per annum. Runners in our secondary schools are funded at 22,240 per annum. From our evaluation and taking into account the economies of scale, these capitation amounts, if properly utilized, will be adequate to support the efficient running and the management of schools. I wish to commit on behalf of the government that we will continue supporting our schools and the runners with their anybody who does not want to be a head teacher. We are not forcing him or her. You can relinquish, and there are so many Kenyans who can be able to take up that opportunity and serve well, of course, conforming to what the government has put in place. So I wish to commit that we will support all our schools with the required capitation, and that's why the other day I thank our members of parliament, the Committee on Education, because we did engage on this. And the part of the recommendation that you will also be able to see in the Presidential Working Party report is on this funding in our basic. There is something known as essential package. We have put up a case, and the government progressively is going to provide. But for this coming term, what we are assuring schools, and especially our members of parliament are here, even the figures, the amounts that we were missing from what had been provided for in the budget, have the assurance and the faith that it is going to be available, such that we give those amounts, and with the prudent management, financial management in our schools, which we expect from the board of management, plus the chief executives of schools, we don't expect that people will come and say, this and this has happened, so we expect more. And yesterday, PS, you know, I called the director secondary because I already had the arrest. I get a lot of information. What goes on every day, my PS knows, chairman, every part of the country. Sipigi kelele sana, huwezi kuona Machogu ni mtu ya drama, lakini mambo lazima ifanyike vile inatakikana. I also wish to clarify that contrary to recent reports, I think I've said that the government's commitment to the education sector is clear in the fact that we have the highest budgetary allocation. This financial year, the government allocated 30% of the total national budget to the sector. The allocation will be utilized to fund capitation, provide textbooks and other learning resources, recruit additional teachers, and boost infrastructure in our schools. You are aware that this year, and again we are seeking additional, which I'm sure we are getting a supplementary one, the amount allocated to education sector, 630 billion, the highest ever since the time we attained our independence. School heads and the teachers generally also have an important role in delivering quality education. As teachers, you are the guardians of knowledge, the mentors of our youth, and the leaders shaping the next generation of citizens. Your role in the education reform process cannot be overstated. Already, you have demonstrated great capacity in overseeing the transition to junior school after the decision was made that junior school will be hosted in existing primary schools. I sincerely commend you for that. Once again, kindly, we don't take it for granted because we at the ministry headquarters would not have been able to operationalize this. As I was looking at the task ahead of us, me and my peers here, we are providing that particular structure so that they can be able to pursue their talent to the highest level possible. In order for the levels of education under your leadership to succeed, you must ensure prudent utilization of resources provided to your institutions. As a country, we are operating in a very tight fiscal space. Even so, the Kenya Kwanza administration has demonstrated commitment to support the sector. The least we can do as sector players is to exercise prudence in the management of all the resources that are at our disposal. This one I don't have to overemphasize, ladies and gentlemen. You are knowledgeable, you know the amount of public debt that we inherited as a country. And I know whoever was there knew that the repayment period, there was a grace period, and anybody who was going to take over was the one who was going to take the task, the responsibility of repaying the loans, and that is exactly what we are doing, because again, if we are foiled from paying the taxes, then we are kind of taken as a failed state, a republic state. Nobody and no one would like us to be in that kind of state, and that is why you see we meet our obligations, and the Kenyans ugonjwa ukiingia mwili kama ni malaria, sinasema sindano itunge ndio upone. Sasa tuko kwa hali hiyo jameni, na it's only a question of time with the kind of measures that we have been able to put in place for the economy of this particular country to recover. We were in the and when you reach the very bottom, the only way now is to come up. So we are in the process of coming up. And as another pastor said it the other day, even promises. Watu wanasema ahadi, wengine wanasema ati ni deni ni. Lakini sasa tulisoma siku ngine Sunday kwamba deni si kwamba ni kulipa, deni ni kuwa na subira. Deni ni kungojea kwa sababu tulipewa example kwamba hata Mungu wakati alitoa akasema kwa wana wa Israeli kwamba ukifika kule mtakuta masiwa na asari, walipoenda walikuta. Ikawa lazima uweke msinga Bwana, lazima uweke ng'ombe ndio ufikie masi. Hata leo Yesu Kristo alisema naenda naru. Leo ukiuliza amerudi au tunangojea? Kwa hivyo tuwe na subira, lakini Kutimiza tutatimiza, lakini tuwe na the forums around the comprehensive system rhyme with the best practices and the runner needs at all levels. And I want to finalize by giving a summary of the things that we have done so that you are able to understand clearly where we are. And our members of parliament here are very much aware of what we have done, because each and every time we give a report to Parliament also on the progress and our achievements so far. So one, what the Ruto administration did, and the chairman, Teacher Service Commission, you know, credit will be given to where it is. Sindio? Au sasa mimi majogo siwezi mama hapa niseme ni mimi au chairman huyu ni kutekeleza tu, ni mtu ya mkono. Lakini mwenyewe yule ambaye aligundua kwamba walimu wamekaa miaka na miaka bila promotion, CPS tulikuwa hapa tunaangalia tu, chairman tulikuwa. Sasa Ruto administration for 1 year was able to identify that we have a problem with our teachers, and they require that, because it's a very important component of motivation, because we realized, and the president was able to recognize and identify that there was a problem. This particular year, he gave 1 billion for promotion of teachers. As the economy improves, and this one I'm telling you for sure, because if there's one person who recognizes the critical participation of the teacher in the national development of this country, is His Excellency the President. So as we move forward, I'm sure he will be doing more as matters of welfare of teachers are concerned. The chairman, get assured of that. And I want my chairman of Teacher Service Commission, wherever he is, to be able to indicate that very clearly. So the promotions from P1 to CS, 1, 3, 5, Chairman, you should now be able to fast track that. The other thing that I have been able to recognize here is people enhancing their ability, enhancing and increasing their studies, and we have seen people here who have gotten a PhD. I'm here with my peers and my chairman of Teacher Service Commission. Do we only grab and it stops there? Chairman, now, these people, some of them should be in teacher training colleges. Some of them, I have my professor here, I have my peers here. Even the other day, we advertised for positions of quality assurance officers at the top level in the ministry. And I was looking around, we not have qualified people, kumbe watu wako hapa. So I'm encouraging you that Chairman Teacher Service Commission kindly get the rest, because we have to encourage these people. Unless you encourage, people will not be able to take further studies seriously, because even our universities, the people teaching, the quality of teaching in our universities is not to the required level. Why? Because we don't have quality teachers, professors, lecturers. Omwenga knows 47% are only the people with the PhD holders. And we have been encouraging universities that each and every year as we graduate, we want a minimum of 1,000 people getting PhDs. We hardly get that now. So we must reward those who have worked hard and gotten their PhD, and that's why me and my peers, who are the chairman of Teacher Service Commission, we want to combine a data bank so that in one way or the other, we are able to reward this. once I have the data in the years, we should be able to reward these people. Even in my office, where we require senior positions, we want to get from our own directors and the rest, we get from you. So, and those who have not done masters and PhD, please be encouraged. You know, it's only the other day, because I'm aware that even those who are degrees reached that stage where there were no promotions, so people were discouraged. But now see what happened with the junior school, the opportunity. So kindly make sure that you continue advancing your studies, and again, now that we have open university here, there are reforms we have taken conforming to the recommendations that have been made by the Presidential Working Party report. One, you know, is the structure. I don't have to elaborate on that. 2, 6, 3, 3. And KIC, we have also reduced the running areas, and I think it took you through the running areas as reduced. When you see the KICD Act, you have given us power to develop and review the curriculum. From 5 to 2, we said we don't want to overburden people, because you can't force that everybody will be science-oriented. Come on. From that, we expect that it will even be able to give us more numbers for our children going to higher education, university and the rest, from the 19.3 that we are to over 20%. We have also opened space for those who sometimes fail to get a C+, who are at the threshold, that they can be able to do a preaching course in a university, and the Commission for University Education is working on regulations in higher education. We have open space. You know, our teacher training colleges were closing down, and following the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party, we environment, and I'm happy because we had only 2,700 in our 32 teacher training colleges. They were actually, the tutors were more than the students. So now that we opened up, following those recommendations, we have now 20,356. Sunday, tulifungua hata ya Kware. Tukiwa na president, the enrollment is impressive. The other day I was in Mandera. I opened the Mandera one. The other day I was in Baringo, and the numbers are impressive. We had the essential package recommended. We are working with the members of parliament, and be assured that we will be able to take action on that. Registration of schools. When the Ruto administration came in, there was a serious problem. But we have now opened it up, German. If you have seen our primary and secondary schools, my peers and the directors, we have worked very hard and made the process much easier because we said there were many unnecessary conditions. We are working and be assured that a solution will be found. We are one sector, ministry or teacher service commission, si sector moja hii. Lakini unajua iko wengine huko kwenu wanataka ikae njia nyingine so that you don't know where you belong. Ate ujulikane pahali hiko ndio tume kwa hii serikali hii. Macho wakiwa hapo, we will fix it. Quality assurance itakuwa parimo for better management of that function. Because quality assurance by the end of the day, na ndio nimetoa magari na PS, mliona ilikuwa flagged off. Kila sub county, karibu kila sub county sasa tuko na magari, so that those guys can be able to come and do the work that they are supposed to do. I don't want to take you through, but grade 9 that we will be able to get into in the year 2025 as a ministry, as a government, This year, we have given a conditional grant to members of parliament, and we will do 6,000. We will do 6,000 classrooms because we want to prepare for grade 9. In the year coming also, we are negotiating with our development partners. We are likely to do 9,000 more classrooms, such that when we get the year 2025, we will be ready with the classroom. So musiwe na wasiwasi hapo. Hapo musiwe na wasiwasi. Jameni, Dr. Chuma alisema mambo ya climate change. Mimi ningetaka kuwaulisha kitu moja tufanye kwa unyenyekevu sana. We passed it in cabinet that the Green Army, 17 million of us, are in our secondary schools, in our primary schools, and if any one of us was to plant 10, 15 per year, then we will be able to cover this country with trees. Jamani, tumekubaliana tusaidiane hapo. Najua watoto wetu wamefunga shule. Monday is a tree planting day. And we want each and every school in this country on Monday to embark on a tree planting. We set a target for education. I presented a paper in the cabinet where I said the solution to this particular tree planting, where we are aspiring to plant 15 billion, is not in any other sector apart from education, because we have an army. Can you agree we plant on Monday 200 trees per school? Tafadhali nionyesha kwa mikono. Tupande 200 minimum kwa kila shule. Na mimi pia nipate ripoti kutoka kwa kila sub-county director na tena TSC. Jameni, chairman, kuja kidogo. Hii mtu ni mfupi lakini maarifa iko mingi. Mimi nimewaambia hivi, assessment ifanywe. Yule ambaye one of the criteria for promotion of teachers iwe matters of climate change, environmental conservation, mambo ya upandaji wa miti. Hata sasa mwaka huu nataka uchukue hata kama ni kila county, tuone wale umetangulia. Na mimi ukitangulia, hata mimi siniko na kitu kidogo nitakupatia shule yako. Au nafikiri nikija au PS akija tutakuja bure? Mimi nataka nipate list ya wale walimu wametangulia, hata ile pesa kidogo kunge natupatia ya infrastructure, tutasema wewe ndio umefanya mzuri na wewe pata. Na promotion tena chairman angalia. Kwa hivyo jameni, tunajua na tena iko carbon credit. Wewe panda miti, hiyo carbon credit hata kwako nyumbani ukipanda utalipwa ile pesa ambayo hujaamini. Lakini ukilipwa, kumbuke iko mtu mmoja alikwambia anaitwa machogu kidogo, si ndio? Kwa hivyo panda miti kwa wingi. Tuna changes kwa sababu ni sekta moja, sitaki kuwachokesha sana. Ingetaka kutaja tu kwa haraka. There are changes that we are doing to our tertiary and higher education. Better to know particular on funding. What is it we are doing and why? Because the kind of system we used there before was known as DUC. DUC meaning differentiated unit cost, where government was supposed to provide 80% of the cost of the program, but ever since the time that particular program and the formula was initiated in 2017, it was not possible for government to be able to give the 80%. Like last financial year, the march that the government was able to provide was 48%. The weaknesses of that particular system was it was funding everybody and anybody. The child of a person like Machogu, who can be able to pay any amount required by government was providing. The child of Muturi, the chairman of Teacher Service Commission, hata akiulizwa milioni moja atalipa, alikuwa serikali inalipia yeye. Tukasema this is not possible. So what we have come up with is a new formula a formula that determines the level of need of each and every one of our students. You know, there is a system, we have the means testing instrument such that we are able to categorize. Kama ni machogo ndio atapewa loan kidogo, but at the same time, he will also be able to pay something. But there are those of us who come from backgrounds that we cannot be able to afford government to a scholarship. At the same time, government will be able to give loans such that those particular children from those families will be able to access education. Hata ninyi si mbaya kwa sababu ninyi nikiangalia muko pand 4 au wako pand 4 au wengine muko pand 3 na 4. Meaning whatever you will be required to pay in the universities will not be much, depending on the course. If it is a course taking 200,000, wengine something like 20,000 also. So we are working on that to make sure that our universities get out of the financial and the funding challenges that we have as of now. With those many remarks, I'm happy that we are here with you today. God willing, we will be coming to your areas, Chairman, as much as possible. You are our major stakeholders, and we like and appreciate what you are doing, and kindly let us combine our efforts so that we take this sector to another level. As I have said, there is no time for me to take you into the finer details of the Presidential Working Party report, but to get a copy, we are in the process of making a sessional paper, even with the proposed amendments, and soon enough, it will be in Parliament, and Parliament will be able to do the necessary. Before I finish and declare the meeting officially opened, my friend Siucho wasalamie tu. Sikori sijalamie na wasalamie. Nimeona kupeti wako hapa. Nafikiri Ken Lutinde wako Collins wasalamie.
The CS Education, my brother Mashogu, the Principal Secretary, Dr. Billy Kepsha, my friends from the Education Committee, Professor Arbana Naguera, the Chairman of Kepsha, the Chairman of Teacher Service Commission, my great brother and colleague, the Director KICD, and I want to start with my national chairman and the team from the Kenya National Union of Teachers. The CS has just invited me to greet, and before I greet you, I want to say here and now that today, Bwana CS, you have performed like a trade unionist. I'm a happy man today. Reasons, I've been thinking about head teachers who are manning comprehensive schools. And the best labor practice across the globe is that for an additional work, there must be some additional gain. And the speaker declared here that for you who have manned comprehensive schools very adequately and successfully, there must be something in terms of gains. That is great. Bwana CS, I also want to appreciate the fact that our head teachers have been lined up here as degree holders and PhD holders. Doctors are here. The moment you pronounce that the fact that we have our PhD holders here and they shall be considered Teacher Service Commission Chairman, this has been our war. The teachers who actually get degrees to the extent of getting masters, extent of getting PhDs, and they are referred to as doctors, why can they be recognized? That is recognition of higher qualifications. I don't want to take that one for granted. When a CS professor was here, and I want to thank you, Professor, for what you said about SDG 4, which actually accelerates and confirms that we must have continuous learning. And that is why we have our PhD holders. That is straight to the fact. When a CS, you PS has actually said here that the deficit of trust that has been there, this must go. Our head teachers in public schools and private schools have never cheated in exams. And that is a plus on you. And that is why we must be set free to manage ourselves. Why must we have 100 policemen dispersed all over to make sure that exams go on? Head teachers and teachers in our schools are able to take care of these exams without any cheating. And I want to congratulate you for that. Bananabuera and your colleague, I think we are now doing well. The fact that comprehensive schools shall be headed by heads of institutions here, that is a great plus. And the presidential working party has also come up very straight. I'm happy you are buying that, Bananabuera, in Parliament. Bana CS, delocalization has come to an end, thanks to Kenya Kwanza government. But I still want to say here that promoting a teacher from Nairobi and placing the teacher in Kitui is delocalization in another way altogether. If you are promoted in a county, stay in that county as a head. That is a position. And finally, because you asked me to greet, I must appreciate you, Bwana CS. The fact that we are now able to talk about capitation and you'll make a follow-up, that is a big relief to these teachers. Because the issue has been capitation, 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 capitation. To the extent, Bwana CS, the communities, when it comes into the media, that funds have been released to schools, even the board chairmen are not even able to understand that these schools have not received cash. So the fight has been on our teachers all through. Ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues in this noble profession, I want to say and declare here today, from the mouth of the CS, you are now qualified as principals of the comprehensive school. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Collins. Now, with the many remarks, again to thank you as my peers said, for what you did in KCPE. We never had any malpractices anywhere, and also to reassure the country that this time around, the measures we have put in place for our KCSE always going well, and we are going to deliver a very credible exam. With those many remarks, I now officially and formally declare this workshop, the anniversary, officially formally open. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bwana CS. Before you take your seat, Bwana CS, we have a strategic plan launch just up there, very quickly. Bwana PS as well, Teacher Service Commission Chair, Professor Mwenga tafadhali, tukaribishwe pale. Naomba sote tuketi tafadhali. We want to launch the strategic plan. We have the Caesars ready. Ladies and gentlemen, ready to launch the strategic plan. Okay. Let's get the Caesar.
Just say, count down.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the countdown. We have the countdown. Right.
to our esteemed delegates. On behalf of Kepsha's National Executive Board, it is with immense pleasure and anticipation that I extend my heartfelt invitation to all of you to the 20th Kepsha Annual General Meeting and Conference. This year, we are gearing up to celebrate a momentous occasion, our 20th anniversary, commemorating 20 years of Kepsha's journey in empowering lives and empowering minds. Our timely conference theme is Rethinking Education Management in a Comprehensive School Setup. As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, let's renew our commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Save the date, 4th to 10th November, at the Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center, Mombasa. Register.
TV ugere ya bibango no misio.
Kachome ba. Live, simejamia ni live.
Karibu. Kadi yako kwa yake bwesi. Sawa. Asante.
So to see nini, just mention quickly the challenges and then we focus on how you dealt with the problems. Huh?
Yeah.
But we'll start with Kepsha first. Were you there yesterday?
No, I was not there yesterday.
You are not there?
Okay. I know the same. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be using this one.
and AGM, the Kenya Primary Schools Head Teachers Association, and of course we are celebrating 20 years of Kepsha, and of course we're talking about the theme rethinking education management within the comprehensive schools. And of course I have a teacher here from the one of the regions in Kenya. He can actually introduce himself. Karibu.
Yeah, thank you for that chance. My name is Christopher Matuko. I'm the head teacher at Kaviaka Primary School, which is in Kibwezi sub-county, Makueni County, the lower eastern region. Yeah.
So far you've seen, you've been here.
Yeah, I've been here in this conference.
What are some you received?
It says that rethinking education management within a comprehensive school framework.
Yes.
And it is actually rhyming with the CBC and particularly the JSS education that we are undergoing. So actually it was a good one. We have learned a lot. Yeah.
So what's the relevance of this theme, especially for JSS? How
this one actually, when you look at the theme, we have been actually given the very comprehensive and very relevant to our work.
And does it make you very happy to see this?
It makes me very happy and also very equipped because
CBC.
Yeah.
What's your general uptake about CBC?
20th Kepsha Annual General Meeting and Conference. This year, we are gearing up to celebrate a momentous occasion, our 20th anniversary, commemorating 20 years of Kepsha's journey in empowering lives and empowering minds. Our timely conference theme is Rethinking Education Management in a Comprehensive School Setup. As we celebrate 2 decades of excellence, let's renew our commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Save the date, 4th to 10th November, at the Sheikh Zayed Children Welfare Center, Mombasa. Register with your respective Kepsha sub-county chairperson for participation. Together, we will unlock the potential of education, ensuring a brighter future for every child in Kenya. Let's make history together as we launch our 5-year strategic plan. Thank you and karibuni Mombasani.
Karibuni Mombasa. Karibu Mombasani. Karibu Mombasani. Welcome to Mombasa.
To our esteemed delegates, on behalf of Kepsha's National Executive Board, it is with